Developing tonight, new fallout after 48 hours of intense media coverage for the annual conference of a white nationalist organization. Video surfaced over the weekend from a Washington meeting of roughly 85 people at the conference, some of whom are caught on tape making Nazi salutes and praising President-elect Donald Trump. While Mr. Trump has been called on several times to disavow the tape and the group, which he has done, there are growing questions tonight about whether all the media coverage is giving this group exactly what it wants. Trace Gallagher is in our West Coast newsroom with more. Trace?
Megyn, the controversial video showing a few hundred members of alt-right movement praising Donald Trump and raising their hands in a Nazi-type salute was posted by Atlantic magazine, which is doing a documentary on Richard Spencer, who is the man now the primary face of the alt or alternative right movement. We're not showing the video or putting up Spencer's racist anti-Semitic remarks because it's become apparent that Richard Spencer, who is well-educated and from an affluent family, is reveling in the national coverage and reportedly using it to promote and recruit. For example, this weekend's alt-right gathering in D.C. was attended by fewer than 300 members and covered by between 50 and 75 journalists and photographers. Before latching on to the Donald Trump campaign, alt-right, which has been around for about 8 years, mostly operated from the fringes of the internet. Donald Trump has now disavowed the alt-right, telling the New York Times, quoting here, "It's not a group I want to energize, and if they are energized, I want to look into it and find out why." Critics say the group was partially energized by Trump's new chief strategist, Steve Bannon, who formerly ran Breitbart and told Mother Jones magazine that Breitbart was the platform of the alt-right, though Bannon says he strongly rejects the anti-Semitic and racist elements of the group. And Donald Trump has defended Bannon, saying, quote, "I've known Steve Bannon a long time, and if I thought he was a racist of alt-right, I wouldn't even think about hiring him." We should note there are no estimates on how many alt-right members there are because the group has no formal structure. Megyn.
Trace, thank you. Joining me now, former Michigan Congressman Pete Hoekstra, who's an advisor to Donald Trump's transition team, and Robert Zimmerman, Democratic strategist and DNC committee member. Now, look, unlike these other channels, we are not going to wallpaper this show with this guy from the white nationalist group. I'm going to show one very short clip of what he was doing, which has been so controversial, and it went on and on and on. Viewers, be advised, it's hateful and disgusting and all the things you think it's going to be. Watch.
Hail Trump! Hail our people! Hail victory!
Making the Nazi salute, and went on to say, hail, let's party like it's 1933. Robert, you want to set this up for us? Why? I mean, everyone understands the hatefulness of the group, but why is it on Donald Trump?
Well, it's on Donald Trump, and it's Donald Trump's responsibility as our president-elect, because since Election Day, we have seen, according to the Anti-Defamation League, a record rise in hate crimes, especially amongst young people using the language from the Trump campaign. And because at the same time Donald Trump says that he would never hire Steve Bannon if Bannon was from alt-right, Bannon acknowledged that he made Breitbart the platform for the alt-right or the white supremacist movement.
That is, he did say that to Mother Jones. He's since denied it. But the thing is, Robert, and I'm going to get to Congressman Hoekstra in a second, but the thing is, you know, how is Donald Trump responsible for the hateful rhetoric of a group that likes him?
Let's be very clear. According to Speaker Paul Ryan, Donald Trump engaged in racist rhetoric in the campaign. Of course, the birther lie contributed to the racist climate in the campaign as well. So the point simply here is Donald Trump, as our president-elect, has a responsibility to unite the country and bring it together. It shouldn't be when he speaks to the New York Times editorial board with the same energy he used on Twitter to condemn Alec Baldwin on Saturday Night Live or condemn the cast of Hamilton.
But the thing
he
is,
should be using his energy to condemn. He should be using his energy to condemn the extremist bigotry that we're witnessing in the hate crimes.
But the thing is, Mr. Hoekstra, so he's come out. Donald Trump has said, and he said, I disavow them, I condemn them, I want nothing to do with them. But he's saying he doesn't want to call more attention to them. And honestly, to see the wall-to-wall coverage we've seen of this some places, you would think that that instead of 285 of them in a restaurant, we're talking about 285,000. I mean, It's a fringe group that's looking for attention. They want to be on the Kelly File. They want to be on these shows wall to wall.
Well, that's exactly right. And they've played the media beautifully. And, you know, they're working with a willing accomplice. These folks want to destroy Donald Trump. They've gone after Bannon. They've gone after Pete Sessions. They've gone after Michael Flynn. You know, they're not giving this president a break at all. The clear thing here is Donald Trump has disavowed this group, and he is moving forward, and he's talking about what he's going to do to make America better for all Americans.
Robert's point is that he needs to more forcefully come out and condemn them. We've seen this elsewhere, too. This is one example from the Anti-Defamation League saying he should be doing more to discredit these people. Same guy came out and said he has to clearly state these are not American values, that their ideology is in conflict with American values. That's what we depend on our president to do, to set these people straight.
And the more Donald Trump talks about it, the more that he's talking about issues that are not going to move America forward. These are the same people that were saying, you know, the Muslim community is in fear of Donald Trump. They are stoking these fears. And what happens on Election Day? Sure, Donald Trump doesn't get that many Muslim votes, but he gets 3 times more the number of Muslim votes than what Mitt Romney got. Why? Because there are a number of Muslims who are very serious and seriously concerned about ISIS, and they're finally glad that we're going to have a president that is going to take on ISIS. Why? Because ISIS is killing more moderate Muslims around the world, and they're glad that we have a president who will focus on that.
So let me ask you, Robert, what do you think?
This is a media storm that's a fake story.
All right, let's talk about the media storm for a second, because Sean Spicer, who's the deputy over there at the Republican National Convention, was on with our friend Wolf Blitzer on CNN today, and this happened. Watch.
All right.
Should he go out there and deliver a specific speech and make that abundantly clear he doesn't want these people support and he condemns them?
When is it going to be enough? He has condemned everyone that's come out and supported him, every group that supported him. At some point, you've got to take, you know, his position and go move on.
Why doesn't he do that more dramatically, if you will, and make it clear he wants no part of these people?
Because I think it's asked and answered, Wolf. You've asked me eight times the same question. I've told you what his position is.
What exactly does Donald Trump need to do to satisfy, you know, the folks who are paying attention to this group?
You know, what Donald Trump needs to do, in my estimation, and he's in a very unique role to really unite the country, as the congressman referenced, is to speak to the American people, to address the issue of race and prejudice in our society. And what better time than during the Thanksgiving holiday season? Because he has an opportunity here. It's to speak not just to the neo-Nazis that we witnessed, but let's remember the record rise of hate crimes throughout our country. It's not a fake crisis when a swastika is painted on a wall of a home in a neighborhood, or where Muslims or the gay community, or in fact the black community, are feeling frightened or dealing with actual epitaphs thrown at them. He has to talk about the fact that how he's going to bring our country together. We're not going to solve this problem by ignoring it. That just gives fuel to the opposition.
For whatever it's worth, the white nationalist defends his Nazi salute as a rhetorical flourish. Said there was a lot of cheekiness going on and exuberance because Mr. Trump's win had lifted their spirits of their radical movement. So there you have it, all sides, including that of the white nationalist group, something you never thought you'd say on national TV. Great to see you both.
Good to
Thanks,
be with
guys.
you.
After several days of attacking the New York Times, the president-elect today walked into the lion's den, if you will. And Howie Kurtz has the inside scoop on what happened between President-elect Trump and the New York Times. Next. Plus, after some on the left cheered the Broadway cast of Hamilton for confronting Vice President-elect Mike Pence, we went into the video vault to see how these same folks reacted when Dr. Ben Carson confronted President Obama at that National Prayer Breakfast, remember? And we'll show you the results when we come back.